Come get your gathering on. Some of the things I endured last night in the realms. I had a hard ass teacher last night. I have no idea why I had a teacher last night. That was very interesting. It was all about the codes. It's on. It's fucking on. One word to all the the non-divine, the lower realm beings, the soulless ones. It takes. I just love it. I take great pleasure in that. Yes, I do. So let's shall we begin? I'm just laughing my buttocks off. uh, where is that? Oh yeah, that's the warrior thing. Oh, so much to do. Mm-hmm. Let me chime and send the vibration out. Since they're really trying very difficultly hard to make sure people can't receive my notification. So, welcome to Be So Light. My name's Felicia, as well as Niana, and Priestess Makala, Priestess of the Galactic Spiral Light. Let me remind you of that. Now, if you have been a member here, and been wondering why when I go live you don't get notifications, you need to make sure you set the bell, because they're making sure that certain people that are messengers, connectors, connecting the dots, transmitters, and just downright holding the grid down, they will make sure you don't get the notification and keep you distracted with others. But this one is kind of interesting. I got the message for this one. Yeah. I would have been on 15 minutes ago, but the cats started fighting for no reason. Just craziness. Heard this big yelp out there, and I was like, what the heck is going on? The older cat's looking like, I'm going to take it out. I'm going to take it out. I'm like, okay, calm down. And I see the young one acting like she didn't do nothing. I'm like, get your butt over in the other room. Go lay your ass down. Stop acting out. What are you doing? Remember who you are. And I start going into lecture mode, and I get this. This is the cat. And then it lays down. I said, do not let me pull Lyran rank on you, because I will. She laid down. She didn't budge. I'm like, what's going on? What's the ruckus? What is that ruckus? Oh, I hope it wasn't a cliff off. Oh, God, I just gotta love it. Yeah. Mm. I love this. They hate certain frequencies, don't they? I wonder why. Why do you hate it so bad? Mm-hmm. I love that. Let me go hang this up. All right. So I had a little adjustment to make in my schedule today. I had some things planned out, but the young one wasn't feeling too well. She was feeling congested, sinus. Kind of like much like all of us are dealing with that annoying sinus stuff because of all the weird ass particles that they spray in the sky, and you know it's actually becoming quite boring because they can't do anything else. All right, lovelies, I'm going to go ahead and get started, and then you'll start drifting in because then by that time they'll send the notification out. But I want to talk to you about the title, True Blood. Remember that show, True Blood? Remember that? They were trying to tell us then, right? They were trying to... But then, when you look at Underworld, I'm going to have to get some charcoal in here. Underworld had the same thing going on, how Underworld is. Yeah, Underworld. So, when people are not feeling their best, I go back to tradition. Sage and cedar. Yes. I love cedar. Thank you, Spirit of Cedar. Cedar clears the mind, clears your space. And then I like to add a tad of just a small piece of copal on it. Nothing too mighty, just a really small piece. I like to wait till I burn that copal just right. Got a little small piece of copal, white copal. And I just kind of drop it in there. And it just smells so good. And I'm going to just let you guys hang out with that for a second. As people start to come in. I like to put that copal in there. I'm going to do one more sweep. Hold on a minute. Must be Amazon. Okay. All right. I have no idea. All right. So I just finished pushing some cedar and copal. So when people start complaining about they're not feeling very good, it's medicine time. Open up the windows. Get your cedar. And just a pinch of copal. Don't go crazy with it. And I am using some gifted tobacco from many, many years ago. I just took a little pinch. This is organic, clean tobacco. Nothing on it. Okay. And just put that on there and give thanks. And just let it do its thing. Now this whole room will be taken up with it. Okay. All right. So that's what I'm doing, getting that started. So shadow banning and how the algorithm keeps people from finding information and stuff. The war is definitely on, just to let you know. So check your notifications and everything, because I come on kind of evening, kind of around this time. If I come on in the morning, people miss it. I had a lot of people saying, how did I miss this? How did I miss this? Blah, blah, blah. That's because of the algorithm and the way they set it up. They cater to the people that run the agenda. They cater to them. That's what they cater to. The ones that are the gatekeepers of falsified truth. Let's put it that way. Because it's like this. If you've been on YouTube for 20 years and you only have what? You just gotten up to maybe 45,000 subscribers or something. there's something wrong with that picture. And it'll have nothing to do with the content you're presenting. It just has, because you're a truth speaker, they don't want you activating people because they know you are going to activate people. So in 20 years' time, I know I will not still be on this channel, because in 20 years' time, history and what we are currently going through will be rewritten. And there will be other things to be concerned about besides a channel that thinks it has glory in itself. And it's just merely a gatekeeper. That's all it is, of information, a gatekeeper. Okay, so let's just step into today. So today is Tuesday, April 22nd. We got that double 4 energy, don't we? Interesting. It is the red electric moon. I activate in order to purify bonding flow. I seal the process of universal waters with the electric tone of service. I am guided by the power of space. Red is the color. Planet is Mercury. The chakra is the root. And the earth family is the gateway. So we have the warrior symbol. Oh, we're going to get into it. Okay, this is our symbol. Okay, the warrior, the sky god, the rune of spiritual warrior always is the battle of the spiritual warrior is with the self, funding a will through action, yet unattached to the outcome, remaining mindful that all you can really do is stay out of your own way and let the will of heaven flow through you. These are amongst the hallmark of the spiritual warrior. So this also allows you to practice the patience, rewards the patient as patience. Here you are asked to look within and to delve down into the foundation of life itself. Only in so doing can you hope to meet the deepest needs of your nature and tap into your own profound resource. The molding of the character is the issue when you draw the tattoos. So the rune is of courage and dedication. In ancient times, this glyph was the warriors painted on their shields before battle. Now the same symbol strengthens our resolve to align the self with the self. So this symbol, it's warrior time. Okay, so let me tell you what happened in Dream World last night. So, I don't know what's going on, but lately when I go to sleep now, I sleep let me see if I can find it. Because you know, I have stones all over the place. Okay. So, I sleep with this. Silver obsidian. And you know, it's funny. When I saw this, I immediately got those flashbacks about that guy, that man I met, the walk-in from another dimension, who came and did the upgrade Reiki on me. And I remember, and I've shared this story a lot, but it's funny, every time when I look at a obsidian stone, I think about him, because this is what he needed, the egg shape of these, how many he collected, and he was going to go back to his home dimension, taking those with him. So there's something about black obsidian, silver sheen obsidian, okay? This is silver sheen. Hi, lovely. See that? See that? Almost reminds you of Mercury, doesn't it? See that? Okay, so let me tell you something. After talking about this red electric moon and that symbol, The purpose of physical and emotional purification is to attune with the pure electronic plane of the fifth dimensional being. To attune. We got fifth, superconscious, thermic force field, active telepathy, hyper electrons activating here. Okay, so now I'm going to put a cap. This is why when you have these and you have this, you can put the lid on top and your medicine is complete. Okay, so that cedar, copal, and a little pinch of organic, unadulterated tobacco. Hey, lovely. So lately, a few nights before, I have my air cleanser thing on. Had the medicine already. I did all my medicine before I went to sleep. Did my invocations. Called in all my beings. Blah, blah, blah. But I was waking up feeling as though like every part of moisture was being extracted out of my body. Like everything was getting congested and irritated. And I was like, what the heck is going on? Throat, sinus, everything was getting like irritated. I said, what the heck? So I would go and immediately start putting water on my face, and the water would start replenishing. Okay? Pay attention. We're going to get into it. I got a message for you. Pay attention. Okay? Everybody pay attention. All right? There's reasons why you haven't been seeing me coming on a lot because, one, there's other things that are going on in the ethers that I am dealing with and being a part of. Yes, ask kick time. And so when I come back, I have things that I will share with you so that you'll have it and you can utilize it. Okay? This is one of those moments. So pay attention. So I was like, what the heck is going on? Why am I so dry? I got enough medicine around me to fill up a sarcophagus. Come on, what is this? And I just hear, put your silver obsidian on your chest. Just like this. So I'm laying in bed and I got this on my chest. All right? All the symptoms of what was occurring vanished. Wasn't having that problem. Wasn't so dry when I woke up. I was like, because this deals with EMF disturbances. No, I have everything around me that's for EMF, but there's certain frequencies that these soulless, cliff-off beings, notice the words I'm using, cliff-offs, soulless beings, are using to disturb your frequency. Now, I started thinking about something. So I was in some deep medicine yesterday because I had to make my my medicine grandma. I haven't made a cosmic grandmother doll since Deb passed away. Because I made one for her and I never got a chance to give it to her because she passed away. Okay. So tomorrow's her exit day when she got liberated from this matrix of make-believe. It's not real. So I made her doll, her cosmic doll. And with some good symbols and things that are about, like with her, So I made that for her. Just never got a chance to give it to her. And she has her own little purse, her owl, and the coins that go in here. And it's the cosmic grandmother. All right. These are imbued. These are not no makeup, voodoo dolls or nothing. Don't be trying to put no title on them. Okay? They are cosmic dolls. So I made that and I put that for her. And then, like I said, I just never got a chance to give it to her. So I had to make another one last night. And this one came out entirely different. I was like, ooh. And this one has the Reiki on it. I wonder why. Yeah, just for you. So I'm not going to show that one just yet because she got imbued last night and she's going to be fully activated later on tonight. I'll activate her. And these particular ones, when I make them, they are made with crystals, they are made with herbs, and they are made with that knowing and love, okay? An intention, what they are symbolizing. It's like I can see the one who's talking to me when I'm making it, and I'm like, oh, okay, what are you representing? I'm representing healing. I'm representing this. I'm representing forgiveness. I'm representing insight. I'm like, okay. So I only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them made. And now this one I made last night is number 6. Like I said, I make them with intention. So I slept with this on my chest. And I had no problems. But the young one, not feeling well. Sinus, sneezing. So she didn't go to her meetings today. And I was like, okay. So I go out and I wait to tell the van, hey, she's not coming today. You know, she can be out for a couple of days. She's like, oh yeah, everybody's coming down with it. She goes, even I got it. I got this sinus thing and all this congestion. I said, yeah. She goes, yeah, it's so weird. I said, yeah. So then they leave. And then the maintenance guy shows up. Now I'm trying to get him because I want to get a filter. So I can put the filter, a new filter in. Pay attention. A new filter in before I turn on the air conditioning. Okay? And as I put the new filter in, I make sure to blow all my medicine inside the filter. The cedar, the copal, the sage, inside the filter. So it's already in there. Then I tell the filter that you are to capture anything that's non-divine and annihilate it. Are you paying attention? Oh wait, we're gonna get really good. So I tell it that. And I wipe everything down on the metal part and then stick the filter in it. Then I stick it back into its holding place. And then I blow smudge into it again. And I tell it what it's going to do. So you are to capture everything that goes all through the system here. Before it even gets to our system, you capture it all and take care of it. All right? So last night, why I just passed out and went to sleep so fast. And I was like deep in the sleep. And I realized I'm in this room. It's white, but it feels very light, like kind of lifted. And there's these other people all in there. And they're flashing these frequency codes in the air. They're like luminescent codes. And I'm like, okay. Then this tall being comes over to me, and it was a teacher. Very lucid, very luminous, comes over to me, says, and he calls me a different name, a name that he knows me by over there, not the one over here. And I'm like, what do you want me to do? He says, run the codes and don't think about it. And I said, I am running the codes. You are being hesitant. You're trying to think. Don't think. Feel into it and run the codes. And I go, and I start running codes. And he's standing there, he's watching. He goes, yes. More. Feel into it. Do not be afraid of yourself. Remember who you are, all of you. And it was like, he was like being very forceful. He says, wake up. It is time to wake up. And I was like, I am awake. He says, some of you are just dipping your toes into the water of awakening, but you have yet to merge yourselves. We have no more time for games. The time is now. I was like, oh God, okay. So I start running the codes, and he goes, yes. I said, now keep in mind, he's not using his mouth to say that. He's doing it all up here. Okay, you can hear him clearly. And I'm like, okay, run the codes, okay. He goes, stop. That's what I want you to run. When in doubt, you run this code. And I was like, well, I like that number. That's one of my favorite numbers I like. It follows me everywhere. He goes, yeah, there's a reason why. Because that code is imprinted on you. That's one of your codes that you can run anytime. So I want you to think about certain numbers that you keep seeing that pops up around you all the time. And every time when they pop up, there's something very distinctually that happens when that number shows up. Okay? That number is an activation. It is a checkoff. It is a accepted code. It is a entry. It's a doorway in. It is an announcement. It is a pay attention code. And when all else fails, you go 000. Okay? Follow what I'm saying? When all else fails. Now let's talk about something, because we were talking about the codes. He's teaching about the codes. And then there was like this codex that came up about blood. And he says, you have to be able to know when a synthetic blooder is around. Synthetic. And I go, you mean the ones that don't have souls? He says, not just not have souls, but synthetic blood. Because the synthetic blood ones that have been mingling with the humans have yet not figured out why some of them are having problems of infertility. Or why, when they do give birth, there's something majorly wrong with that child in the blood. They'll dismiss it as a diagnosis, some kind of thing like that. And because the synthetic blood is on the rise, you have to be more aware. And be very, very aware of when they're going to give you blood. Because that might not be the human blood. I just stood there in front of me of the screen. It's kind of like a plasmic screen, but it floats. But you can touch everything in the air and do it, and you can run it. And he says to me, "Do you understand what I'm saying?" And I go, "Yes, I get it. This is why your job, what you do, and everybody here about the codes is so important." I was like, "Okay." Boom. I wake up, it's like 2:45. And I went to bed at 10 because I was tired. It's 2:45 in the morning. I was like, damn, look out. So I remember everything because it was so vivid. And I was like, wow, that was on point. And I have the codes that he really, really liked and are to be used when necessary. As well as you have codes also that keep showing up that are supposed to be used when necessary. Okay. So let's talk about the true blood. Because this was one of those messages, and it was very interesting how I got into a conversation with one of my friends about blood. And I said, yeah, True Blood, that show, they were telling us then how they were making the synthetic blood because they couldn't keep feeding off of the humans because some of the humans were getting infiltrated with certain things, viruses and stuff, right? Then you see the movie Underworld. And what happens when they need to take a look at the past? They need to take a look at something, right? They bite the person and they read the blood energy of what they had just last did from the time of whatever the past was up to that moment. They're able to capture all of that information that's in the blood. Okay. So here's a thought. You know how they're always showing these commercials about, oh, come to the plasma center and pay you $750 for the plasma, blah, 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 blah. And you might be one of those people that says, oh, I could really use the money. I'll go in there and donate my plasma. Okay, now you go in, you donate your plasma, your blood, whatever. They run it through the system. They read it. They like what they see. Now you're tagged. They have your address, have all the information on you because you just gave that. But unbeknownst to you, you're just donating from the goodness of your heart. At this time in the game, we're not doing that anymore. So start thinking about those movies and start connecting the dots. And I start saying, if I was a mad scientist and I was developing a league of beings that were soulless like Cliff-Off's beings, and I wanted them to have some kind of memory, wouldn't I take some blood from a human that well established in society and has some really good magic, and follow what I'm saying. It got some very good wisdom, and it's a very strong lineage that I can harvest, and I can put them into these beings and have utmost control of them. But I stole it. I stole the blood from these people, and I'm merging it into these non beings so they can act and pass for human. So then that kind of brings me back to that one question. What year is it really? Because if that technology already exists, and we're supposed to be in a year of just trying to really get ourselves together with our technology, then what year is it really? Once again, I asked you this question. Do you really believe it's 2025? Because you don't want to take yourself backwards. Because someone tried to take us backwards. And I'm like, no. If you're still in time, you keep frozen. You loop us backwards if you're still in time. But if you can't steal time no more, you have to leap forward, and then you have to catch and hook in to the actual time, which can do a lot of jolting, especially if the body's not ready, which is why the crystalline is kicking in so fast right now, because we got to be able to make that leap. That's coming. That's preparing us. That's preparing us. So this is why I put that question up there. True blood. What's in the blood? How many times have we listened to our elders tell their stories of this one could do this one had the healing gifts of this one was a part of this, da. It's in the blood. The blood keeps the signature. It's the same with Assassin's Creed. Remember that? Assassin's Creed, good movie. How they had some of the DNA in the blood, and they needed to hook into him to find where that apple was. Because it was noted through all of his ancestral bloodline, they knew where that apple was. And all they needed to do was to hook into him to find out where it was in the present timeline so they could find it. So now here's the question. In this spiritual warfare that's happening, yeah, they're trying to tame down that frequency. Because with that frequency comes an awakening of what lies in your blood. What awakens in your blood, your signature. And all those that are coming forward that are talking about the frequency and are remembering who we are is all because what lies in your blood. What is the memory that's in your blood? They're showing us right there in these movies. Underworld, that's how they read it. They bite you, get the read of the blood. Oh yeah, you were doing this, da. That's why they be like, they can't lie, because they get bit and they're reading the blood. It's going to tell them the truth of what was really going on. So, what is in your blood? Who are you really? Did you know? Now, I know for a fact, I have married a couple people and they didn't have to go do a blood test to get married. I wonder why. They're no longer trying to show you what's on your blood, what your blood type is. They kind of skate around that. Once you're older and they'll backtrack and they got some way to tell you what your blood is. But there's some of us out there, your blood is unreadable. You can't be told that you're an O. You can't be told that you're a B or an A or an AB. Some of you don't have that kind of blood. Some of you have another kind of blood. And they're watching it. And like it's been said before by many others, the whole thing was to get people to connect through different bloodlines. Either you will have an outcome of an offspring or you would not have an offspring because of the blood. What lies in the blood? There are certain history signatures that cannot mix due to their ranking in the realms. Can't link up. It is forbidden because what comes with that is something chaotic. Follow what I'm saying? So this is coming up right now. Codes and the frequency of our blood. And what that sun is doing. And just think, all this just kind of lapsed in from last night. Having that luminous teacher. Yes, run it! I'm like, it's kind of stressful. Wake up, wondering why your cortisol levels are high. I went somewhere, had to run some codes. So, but I hope this makes sense what I'm saying. Because in the next few months, it's on. Especially for us. Why do you think they rotate like they do? Like the equinox. Okay, we're in summer and then when the other part is in winter. Same thing like in Underworld, isn't it? One vampire comes up and the other one sleeps. You can't wake that one up before it's time because it's not time for that one to come up. They have to wait. They have to do a ceremony to bring that one up to run its reign. So that other one sleeps while the other one's running. And then when it's time for the other one to wait, that one goes back to sleep and then that one comes up. Where have I seen that before? Winter, fall, spring, summer. Are you following what I'm saying? What a predicament! What do? I'm literally, now you have to really, it's not enough to just know who you are. What's in your blood? Who are you in your blood? And we're not just talking, let's not get it twisted here, what I'm talking about. We're not talking about the Christ blood. We're not talking about royalty. We're talking about what's hidden that's going to be activated through your blood. What is it? Because whatever it is, it scares the living bejeebus out of them. Because they can't control that. That is a creator's signature, blueprint matrix in your DNA. which is why the false RNA was made, so it can interfere with the real RNA process. Oh, there's reasons for everything, right? Mm-hmm. So, just wanted to share that. I put some new posts up in the post section so that you can get some more info on that. But if you don't have silver obsidian, I would highly suggest you get some. Because it's just like the black tourmaline and organite. It can create that shielding, but there's something about when you lay it directly on you. It creates this, and you literally can feel it. Especially if you're working your pyramid and then you put this on top of that. It's like, whoa. So those of you that took the pyramid training, I want you, if you don't even have this, just say what your pyramid is going to be. You're going to make it this. You're going to call this forth and turn it into that. Unstoppable. So let's take a look at some messages. And one of them that came out was this one. I said, wow, I said, you're requiring me to read those long words and try to decipher all that. And it's like, just shuffle us. I'm like, okay, fine. But I hope everyone understood what I was talking about. You get it? What I'm talking about? Okay, the Egyptian star. What is the message for us? Egyptian star. Yeah, that was a really interesting dream. Interesting. Okay, I'm going to do that. Oh, wow. Interesting. Okay. And then I'm going to pull another one. A regular tarot one. The light seers. So I bet you some money now. When you go back and you watch those movies that I just talked about, you're going to see it in a different light. You're going to be like, oh, yeah. Because each time we dive in onto something and we say, oh, yeah, to it, it brings up an activation within you. And something else, you know how they have all these cameras everywhere? And how some cities have the purple lights and these different kind of lights and stuff. What if those lights or those cameras weren't just to catch bad things, but was to recognize and to see where certain beings are walking at amongst the regulars? And then the camera can also decipher, because you got to remember technology, okay? Can decipher who's really awake and how much light are they emanating to make you more trackable. As the plot thickens. Just to make you think. I'm just saying. I mean, you just kind of start wondering, what's the whole intention? Why Why would you do that? What's in it for you? You know, that's my whole thing. What's in it for you? What are you looking for? What have we forgotten? What have we forgotten? I just love these cards. The what have we forgotten cards. They're so beautiful. And they're straight to the point. Then the box cards. Remember these? Where is there some really focused energy that we need to pay attention to? That is going to be rising. Oop. Rising. 1, 2, 3. This is for my light gritters, my gritters out there. These are the areas you'll have to pay attention. First, let's go into the Egyptian star. The Egyptian star, we have care and nurturing. Tiamat, upper wing. Care and nurturing. And it's a number 6. Hi, lovely. So, I have no idea why this one wanted to come out today. Because it's one of those things that says, okay, in translation, Egyptian, upper wing, this is crane, this is material, gold, Decan. Card meaning is represented by care and nurturing, complete freedom from suffering, and the appearance of love. It may be in the form of unconditional love, such as the offered by a parent or a child, or it may be the love of a romantic partner, either presence or arriving soon in the future. So this is about the love wrapped around you and comforting, giving you protection without fear and judgment. Okay? Without fear and judgment. It has a ritual that goes into it. But I won't go into the ritual part of it because that's a lot of the details. But this is all about extremely positive signs of health, wellness, and healing. Interesting. Wellness and healing. Okay. So the card that comes next to that in the tarot is the 4 of Swords. We're feeling kind of like, oh, God, let me just lay down and rest. Let me just be. This is where some of us are right now. I just want to be nestled into the nest, feeling safe. But yeah, let's just cut away all the shenanigans. And in that 4 of Swords, we bring in the energy of questions, of a time of deep rest, transmutation of the shadow and healing from burnout, okay? Taking a brief holiday from your reality, renewal, self-love. Now that correlates with the Egyptian star one we just had. I give myself permission to slow down and heal. I give myself permission to slow down and heal. Give yourself permission to slow down and receive the codes and integrate. Because as things speed up, you got to be able to integrate those codes. Okay? Need I say more? What's going on? Look at that. Percy. That's crazy. Light language is serious initiation. Trust. The sacred geometry, 37, realization. The frequency of realization supports the internal process of becoming aware of our heart center truth, as well as the external process of becoming our highest expression in this world. What is your highest expression of yourself? What is that? Okay, what have we forgotten? I pulled up, oh, Jesus Christ. Here we go. Okay, so I just showed you this one. Okay, so now, in the what have we forgotten, we have the principles or correspondence, number 35. Okay, what coincides with that is number 1, the initiation. Yeah. In order to get to these next realms, these next vibrational, the next level, this is what's required. So if some of you are feeling like you're being taken somewhere, or you're encountering teaching things and feeling tested, there is a reason why. This card right here represents, okay, the principle of correspondence, and the real representation of it is called interdimensional transmission, working in two worlds. Working in two worlds. Okay, as above, so below, this is the law of correspondence, a basic relationship found within two levels of existence, on earth as in heaven, body and spirit, intention and action. We need to consider correspondence in order to create anything in life. Can't make this stuff up. You just can't. Everything that happens in our reality was birthed into a non-ordinary reality first, ideal to reality, or if you prefer, celestial and terrestrial. There are always two correspondents to how the universe works: inner, outer, upper, lower. Everything in life has a correspondence. Okay. Here's your initiation card. Are you ready? Going deeper, the interdimensional scavenger hunt begins. Going deeper, we're going to remember that life is a magical, intention-driven scavenger hunt. That means if we don't have the first clue right, the rest of it can be kind of confusing. As a result, sometimes we can get stuck. If we refrain from this and take a beat to the track of our clues and map our adventures, we may find a wonder in the corners and insight in the divine timing. We should probably also take some of the divine timing to write things down. This makes it easier to track our clues and determine where we may have gotten off course, where we have gotten stuck. Sometimes stuck is a redirect from source or our soul. The road of magic comes with initiation. Initiation can be defined as the beginning of something. It isn't anything to be afraid of. It's a part of the journey. Okay, it's a part of the journey. Okay, the 3 cards pay attention to like gritters. Oh, interesting. Divine Goddess Energy. It's on the rise. 37. The Taino Ancestors. Yes. Atabe. Guabanuto. Simihin Yaya. Kotakote. Ope. Makatari. Just breathe that in. These are the ancient ones. And then divine light language coming online. Now, remember I told you about that a few weeks ago? We talked about that, how important it is to start speaking your language of light, because the language of light, when we connect everything, comes through your soul matrix and also lights up through the blood DNA. Okay? It's in your blood. It's a part of you when you speak your light language. So because we were inundated with so much of the speak the English language or the language that you're supposed to be speaking, that part of us, our light, listen to this, light language got turned off. Light language. Speaking from the divine light, the source that lives within you. Speaking your light. Imagine how powerful if all of us were to speak our light. How shifting that would be. To speak your light. Animals understand it. The birds understand it. Everything that is a mystical being within itself understands your light language. The ones that don't get it are the ones that don't have the soul energy to understand it. They do not come from light. Makes you think, right? Makes you think about all those times when you were singing a song or something and it was sounded ancient. Could it be just your light language kicking in? And you just have to remember it. You have to remember the bloodline. You have to remember the wisdom, the medicine behind that language. Because in that language is the codex. It's the vibration, the frequency, of undoing a falsehood. We got a lot of undoing to do. Unraveling the trapped energies and getting rid of that. And through speaking our divine language, we do that. We can do that. It is one of those keys. But we get inundated with all the, distractions, illusions, things that are non-humans supposed to be taking our attention. No. So today, we talked about the blood. We talked about those specific movies and those shows that were showing us something. Back in that time, for now, how important it is. Here's another thought. Remember some of the clippings I put, remember when they were talking about the Cabbage Patch Kids and all that stuff? Okay, remember that? Remember when they did those other resets and how there was these children that took over where a lot of casualty had already taken place, but they were now being taught to obey and all this stuff? Remember that? What if, just hypothetically, just saying, just hypothetically, that a lot of the ones that are missing, and they're finding them, thank goodness, but some that are still missing, what if that's a part of the plan again? But they're all hybrids so that they can totally undo what's coming. Because if you really think about it, they're not prepared to deal with you remembering who you are. It's so true. It's so true. They're not prepared. They're trying to find a way to loop up around it, but they're not prepared for the amount of energy that's going to merge, that's going to cause a great burst. And I'm going to close with this because this is a message that's coming in right now and my head is tingling. So, what makes you think that only Mother will receive that solar flash and she gets the initiative jolt in her body and she rises up in such a way that those that are synthetic forms of whatever cannot stay here? Dust in the wind, all we are is dust in the wind. And oh, I'm sorry, I don't have a violin to finish it. Anyway, just wondering. So if she gets hit with that, and then you get hit with it, all at once happens. What do you think is going to happen and take place? Yeah, I guess they would be better off in their little bunkers and stuff in the down under in the world and hiding out from what could be, might be, and yeah. Because once that hits, she gets the charge, you get the charge. It's not so much about the solar flash. It's this charge that cracks open the sealed part of you. And it just goes, that light. Remember that part? Thank you. They want me to share this. Remember that part at the end of Fifth Elements? I got goosebumps all over me, so pay attention to this. Remember that final scene where they're all at the end and they're all at the, oh, I don't know what to do. If I had something to like to, how do you make fire? I can't make fire. Remember they had to make fire, air, and water. They had to have all the elements. And then there was the one in the middle, what she represented. Remember that? And he had to tell her he loved her. And then when he said it, she pushed her head all the way back and she became this straight beacon of light all the way down, radiated this light and then destroyed whatever darkness that was coming. How many of us are going to have that beacon of light moment where we just drop our heads back and it's going to be a lot more than just being grounded. You hear what I'm saying? All right, lovelies, I delivered my message and I hope that wasn't too much for you to take in, and I hope it was right on point for you, kind of connecting the dots, yeah. And was kind of just, just bringing it and putting it out there. So just pay attention. Pay attention to your dreams, where you're being taken, where you're going, what is the lesson, what are you testing out on, what are you being taught? Because that's a part of remembering yourself. Shield up, protect your light, and people who are not walking right in your life, bye-bye. You ain't got time for them. Especially when they keep changing back and forth and doing weird shit. You ain't got time for them. Because you should start kind of wondering, why they do that? Why they act like that? Are they real? Are they Memorex? All right, lovelies. I'll leave you with a little bit of your magic today. So here's your magic thought. Figs and cloves. Figs are really good for abundance. They were known as the fruit of the gods. Okay? And figs are good for banishing negativity, stopping gossip, brings in clarity, and it's good for that. It's also, the fig is connected to Hathor, Nut, and Isis. Okay? And when we talk about cloves, cloves brings in clarity. Cloves brings in banishing negativity, stops gossip, brings in wealth, and it deals with just bringing in abundance also. But when you use those two together, there's spray solutions that are like good for cleaning your home. You can find them at TJ Maxx, and it's called Fig and Cloves. What a good way to just lift up the vibration of your home. Just kind of clean the countertops, puts out a good scent, smells very good, and it raises up. One thing about lower vibrational beings, they don't like good smelling things. They don't like cleanliness, and they sure to hell do not like any type of bell sounds, chime sounds, anything like that. So if you got some issues going on in your home space, apartment, I don't know, maybe some people moved in down below and they're not walking right, you might want to just lift that up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Do a little bell ringing here and there and clear the space. Because that's what time it is. Sometimes some people are strategically placed around you, and they're just watching you. They're there as a irritant or a watcher, because they know what time it is. But remember, is it really real?